Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I lacked game, get back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. Now you thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. And you thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
What's going on? Happy Thanksgiving, guys, and I hope you have a great holiday. And tonight, guys, this is Wacky Wednesday, and we got some wacky stories for you guys tonight. All right, but before we do that, let me go ahead and do the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. That entire copyright disclaimer is in my description area in part of it is scrolling across that screen right there. All right, guys. And if you like this, if you enjoyed this video tonight, make sure that you thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notifications so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure to share and leave a comment. And if you want to show additional support for this channel, feel free to do a super sticker, super chat, Cash App donation at $ShadesTube, or you can copy yourself a membership for $4.99 per month. We definitely appreciate the ones that have donated, and thank you. All right. So you guys go get you something to drink and relax in a seat, bed, or whatever. If you are at work, continue to do your job or watch or listen to me download. And y'all, let's go ahead and do this live for Thanksgiving Day. All right. Okay, welcome to Jermaine, everybody in the bushes, everybody who watches this in the replay. All right. So Jermaine said, y'all see this wild story? Maryland mom and daughter jumped by a whole mob of kids. They were dragged, punched, and taunted on camera. Now, y'all remember there was another incident like that. I think it was last week sometime, where another mother and one of her children were beaten by a group of kids as well. And I'm like, what is going on here? I mean, there used to be a time, you guys, when kids actually showed grown-ups respect and they would never, um, you know, be jumping on a mom who was trying to basically defend her child by telling them to leave, you know, her child alone. It's just plain ridiculous. It is. It's just getting out of hand. And honestly, I think when they start charging the parents of these kids, that's when they will stop doing this. Okay, that's when parents will start being parents again and make sure that their children are not being disruptive and violent. Okay, because the thing is that the reason why I feel like they need to charge parents is because it's parents, responsibility to make sure their children are, following the laws and doing what they need to do. Okay. And when a child, and I'm talking about young kids, when young kids do things, even young teenagers, parents are responsible for real, and they should definitely be held accountable for their children's actions. Because this is just getting out of hand. This is like the second or third time that we have heard of this. Okay, you said these hoodlums don't show anyone respect, right? And that's why, again, the parents should be charged because it's their responsibility to make sure their kids are acting right, especially young ass kids. Okay, grade school, early teenagers and stuff like that. You can still you still can do things like put them on punishments, discipline them, all types of stuff you can do, and lead by example. Okay, because what's going to happen when they do it to the wrong adult, and that person does something drastic? Then everybody probably be on social media, on YouTube videos, talking about this person should have did that. You know what I'm saying? This grown up should have did that, but yet, they leave these grown ups no choice when you got a whole group of kids kicking, dragging, and doing the most. What are you guys waiting on until a parent is unalive? So that's why I think, parents need to be held accountable for these kids when they do things like this. These 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year olds. The parents need to be held accountable for real. And when they are 15 and up, they should be, charged, these kids, when they're jumping on, other kids and parents and things like that. And until they do that, you're going to keep on seeing stuff like this happen. Okay. Now let's go ahead and talk about this case in Maryland where this woman and her daughter, I believe, got jumped. Okay. And this is Wacky Wednesday. And we do have a couple wacky stories to tell you guys in this hour and maybe 10 minutes. Okay. I may not have that many viral videos today because I forgot to do the login thing. I'm not logged in, but I forgot to put the app on the computer. So we probably will resume back with that tomorrow or either Friday, okay? Which is really today because today is really actually Thursday. Okay, let me go over here and get this real quick. Let me close all these things. I got like 50,000 screens. And I hope you guys had a great Wednesday. I'm pretty sure you guys have cooked and got situated for Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys have a blessed Thanksgiving too. Have fun. Don't be like Bethany and Larry and Char for Country Wayne skits. Don't be, at Thanksgiving dinner acting brand new. Okay. Yeah, we all need to get along. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. Is this it right here? So let's see. Wait a minute, hold on, y'all. I hate when they do this. Okay, let's go down. Let's go down. Hold on, guys. Let me make sure I got the right story. This may be part 2. Hold on 1 second. I need to make sure I got the right thing. So anyway, can y'all believe some of the kids were screaming out, "Eat the mom up"? That's crazy. What's up, Young Riz? Thank you so much for tuning in, and happy and blessed Thursday to you. So anyway, they said after only days after Chicago mother and her son were attacked by a group of school children, a Maryland mother's story is spreading online and sparking outrage after she and her daughters were also brutally beaten by a large group of teenage students. Lakeisha Graves said the attack happened last month in Cambridge, Maryland, at a school bus stop. On a GoFundMe page, she wrote that the assailants were a band of students who intentionally rode the wrong bus to assault her daughters. Sounds like that's what's the name of the kids there. Now they do have a viral video showing a group of girls attacking the mother and daughter. She posted this footage on Instagram, and it's showing students ranging in the ages from 11 to 15 who all got together and assaulted this mom and her 2 daughters, which is crazy, okay? It's just plain ridiculous. And like I said, when you got kids this young, the parents need to be held accountable, okay? The reason why these kids feel like they can do all of these things is because they know there are no repercussions, okay? None whatsoever, okay? And so when they start making the parents be held accountable, and at the same time, when a child is over a certain age and they do stuff like this, they need to be held accountable as well. Now let's finish with the story right here. So anyway, when Graves told the children to go home and told one of her daughters to get in the car, they immediately surrounded her daughter and began punching her. Wait a minute, hold on. I mean, just a plain disregard for any type of authority. Let's keep it real. These kids are out of control, you guys. And the time is now to get your kids in order. Let's keep it real. Because if you don't get them under control, somebody else will, whether it's the police or another person, and that's on everything. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Now, the mother tried to stop the kids, but only ended up getting caught up in the attack. The children are seen hitting her and forcefully dragging her by her hair. And then a 12-year-old rushes me, and then her friends follow up, and the boy punches my daughter in the face twice. A boy, you guys. And from there you see them dragging me across the field by my hair. That is crazy. A boy. It was one time when little boys would not be fighting girls. You're right. The bus driver did not notice these kids didn't belong on his or her bus. That's crazy. On the girls' bus. See, that's because they don't be doing their job either. What are you doing? They don't be doing their jobs either. Okay? Because if they were doing their job, they would have known that these girls and these kids or whatever did not belong on that bus. Now, one child recording the violence encourages the other kids to continue the attack, yelling, eat her up, eat the mom up. That's plainly crazy. Now, Graves said of the children involved in the assault, 4 who are 13 and older were referred to a Department of Juvenile Service, DJS program called Children in Need of Supervision. 6 other kids who were also involved are too young to be issued a referral. This is why these kids do this. The parents won't be charged. This is another reason, according to Graves, but will be required to support the children referred to DJS. And until they actually start doing something, okay, this is going to continue to happen until somebody gets unalive, one of those kids. You'll see. Or either one of the grown-ups. The parents, okay, I said, okay, here I am right here. I was flabbergasted that children would even approach a grown person, let alone assault them. I was not expecting that in any way, shape, or form. That's what Graves said. The mother says she's spoken to school and city leaders and the police chief of Cambridge, Justin Todd, and Dorchester County Superintendent Dr. Jamil Thompson, in the hopes they will take action to address the violence. She has since taken her daughters out of school and launched a GoFundMe to raise donations for legal fees and to pay for mental health services. On the fundraising page, she explained that she wants to pursue another route to hold the children accountable. In my state, the laws are so relaxed for juveniles that we are subjected to these acts with little or no recourse or consequences for the children. The most effective way to resolve this is legally. Unfortunately, I can't do that on my own. I am a single mother in the last phase of my dissertation to earn my doctorate degree. I work, pay my taxes, and mind my business. I raise my children the right way. Unfortunately, on this day, being a law-abiding citizen did not work in my favor. Now, another similar attack, which we talked about before, in Chicago, drew national headlines after Korshanda Hayter and her 9-year-old son were beaten by a large group of young students, landing the mother and her son in the hospital with serious injuries. The assault drew an intense backlash from community members who demanded that local leaders take action to hold the children and their parents accountable. Now, let me read a couple of these comments. Somebody said, can you imagine if the mother had pulled out a gun and shot one of the little monsters while they were beating her, and she would be the one facing charges, even though she was trying to defend herself and her daughter? Yeah, that's what they do. Okay, and that's why the laws need to be changed, and they also need to be holding the parents accountable. The thing is that if somebody did do this, you can file all the charges you want to on the parent, on the mother who was defending herself, but that child would never be back. Okay, so that's why I say they need to start charging these parents, and they need to change the rules for juveniles. Okay, let me read y'all comments. If a mob of kids attack me, they are going to see Jesus. No cap. These parents better raise these kids. People are tired of that. All righty then. Okay, let's see what else somebody is saying. Antonio said, it's so crazy because the lady next door is experiencing this with a group of boys. They want to jump her son, who is only 12, and they keep showing up to her apartment, kicking her door as hard as they can and running outside screaming to send her son out, or they will start SHOOTING. The cop says there is nothing they can do. They have shown up here every single day this week, and I can only see it ending badly because the lady fears for her in her children's lives. It's only a matter of time before they kick the door fully open, and I can see all hell breaking loose. But the cops can't do anything, and they refuse to give her the kids' names because they are minors. So she can't get a protection order. And that doesn't do a crap thing. Okay. Let's see. She doesn't know what to do because it's always 10 to 15 boys kicking her door and screaming and throwing things at her window. It's insane that because they are minors, they are just allowed to do what they want. Somebody said, do you have stand your ground there? If so, if she feels threatened, then bam. Somebody said she should get some real big dogs and then open the door next time it happens. Problem solved. All she did was answer the door, and oops, the dogs got out, protecting their family. So they said that we don't have a stand your ground law, but we do have a castle doctrine in Maryland. If you are in your home, you have a right to defend yourself. If you are in public, you must retreat and not engage. And then Sandy said, I don't give a rat's the ages of those punks. Every damn one should face serious consequences for their actions so they will learn what's appropriate and what isn't. And because of their malicious intent of their actions, their parents should face the financial consequences in legal, in my opinion, okay? Besides just the, criminal, besides just the financial consequences. Because until you start making parents accountable, you won't see a change, okay, point blank. See, and so she said, honestly, another commenter said, honestly, and I truly can't believe I'm saying this, but there should be some sort of facility like a jail for juveniles, not just some juvenile detention center, but something actually like prison. They should provide schooling, but they should be relegated to jail cells. Issue clothing, have set meals and times when they either eat or they don't. One difference though, no TV or other electronic entertainment. If they want entertainment, go outside and run laps or something. These kids need serious consequences that might actually have an impact. Treat them like criminals. Treat them like the criminals they are. Maybe that will act as a better deterrent, because clearly what we're doing now isn't working. Like I said, they definitely need to do a lot of stuff as well as charging these damn badass parents, okay? And somebody said the same thing I just said. The parents should be charged with assault and CPS card. And I agree, because that's plain ridiculous. You got to do something, because this is getting out of control, okay? It's really getting out of control. And until they do something, it's going to continue to be like this. Oh, I can't put this back on my leg no more. It's going to continue to be like this until they, do something about it. Okay? Until they do something about it. Now, let me see if I can pull up any stuff on TikTok about it, okay? And then I want to tell you what else this, I think it's the same group of kids in Chicago, what else they did, okay? So let's go ahead and do this real quick. Let's see, you said, I understand the accountability angle, but I'm more concerned about the mentality that these kids have to think that it's okay. And let's be honest, it's always Black kids that do this type of crap. You do hear about Black kids doing this. Okay, I don't even hear of any white or any other kids, attacking, adults like this and trying to get the child. And which is a huge problem, because the thing is, Here we go once again, making society think that Black people, the kids, and everything is basically out of control. I mean, you don't see this in other race. I mean, I haven't seen not one incident, and don't nobody say we just don't see it. The thing is, it really doesn't matter, because the thing is, like I just said, when Black people do things, it's going to always be brought out so everybody will know. So if you already know this, well, then why do certain things if you know you're going to be put out in the forefront, unlike other people, they do the same thing? So why do this? It's just plainly ridiculous. And then as parents, you should be instilling in your kids, especially, Black parents, you should be instilling in your kids to obey the laws, to be, a good citizen, to respect your elders, to not be bullies. When people of authority tell you to stop doing things, you should stop doing it. And when your kids don't follow orders and don't do what you say do, and disrespect elders, it should be consequences at home. Okay? It shouldn't be you putting your child up on a damn social media to sit up there and say, I'm sorry, when half of them don't even really mean it. You should be handling that. You should be handling that behind closed doors, okay? And let your child know this is unacceptable. And be a damn parent. Because this is what all this stems from, not being a good enough parent. You got the damn parents up here talking about their kids are good and they just reacted from peer pressure. But damn, like in the Chicago case, these same kids did something to someone else. But yet they were up, some of them were up on social media talking about they're sorry. It's crazy. You said this BS makes it harder to defend the what? I don't know what you mean here. It makes it harder to defend Black kids accused of things. Innocent Black kids accused of things. That's what I think you mean. Okay. Okay. I got it. The thing about it doesn't make it hard for me to defend a child that's innocent. Okay. As long as we can prove that they're innocent. Okay. But what it doesn't make it hard for me to defend them. But it's not just me. It's the justice system, the police officers, the school principals, the teachers, and all of that. That's why I said it starts at home. Hey, Tony Banks, thank you for being here, and happy Thanksgiving to you. That's why I said it starts at home. And when your kids go out here and bully other kids and beat on other kids and jump the mother and all this other stuff, parents should be held accountable for this. They really should, and then these kids need to be held accountable too. They're talking about these kids are too young. They're not too young to jump someone. If you are old enough to know how to jump someone, to know how to hit someone, beat someone up, call them names, cuss, and do all of this, then you are old enough to reap the repercussions, point blank. Even putting kids in juvenile detention center, which is jail basically, for 6 months, that would help. Okay, even the young kids, because you need to deter these kids from doing stuff later on in life. If you're letting them get away with stuff when they're young, all they are going to do, not all of them, but a lot of them are going to grow up doing more things, and even more. I mean, that's serious, jumping the parent. That's why I had to not say that word, but they may do even more things, okay, as they get older. You said perception is reality. The justice system already judges us as being more prone to violence. And that's what I was saying. So why would you, why would you not discipline your child and, make sure that they don't do this again, by doing what you need to do as a parent? Why wouldn't you do that? If any one of my kids would have did something like this, I bet you they wouldn't do it again. I can almost guarantee you they wouldn't. And when parents start being parents, some of these things would not happen. Yes, you got some kids that still do things, but at least you are trying to do your job as a responsible parent. It's crazy. Now, let me see if I can pull up some information online real quick about this one. Then we'll finish talking about this Chicago group of kids. Okay, let's go to this. Let me put this up here. Oh my God, I cannot type. Let me put assaulted. I don't know if you can use that. I don't know if you can use that word. Let me see if you can use it like this, because TikTok is good about blocking stuff. So this is the actual video right here. Let's see.
A newly circulated video from Maryland is sparking widespread concern after showing a violent altercation on a school bus involving a mother, her daughter, and several middle school students. According to the video, a group of students who were not supposed to be on the bus boarded anyway, and soon became involved in a confrontation with the two adults. In the footage, multiple students appear to strike the mother and daughter, while bystanders can be heard encouraging the attack. The incident has raised questions about student behavior, school safety, and the growing number of similar videos appearing online. Social media users reacting to the footage expressed alarm, saying situations like this seem to be happening more frequently and warning that the trend is becoming increasingly dangerous.
That's crazy.
It's been barely a week since the last incident like this. How long will it truly take to change this situation? Who ultimately bears responsibility for the actions of minors? How heartbroken must the mother who was harmed feel? Do you have any suggestions for addressing this? Share your thoughts in the comments section. A newly circulated video from Maryland is sparking widespread concern after
The thing about it, we can talk about this online. Hold on, let me turn this damn thing. Sorry, table. That damn fan. We can talk about this until we are black and blue and purple. All right. If parents do not start raising their kids, it's just going to get worse. And all the talking, all the videos, all the meetings, the GoFundMes, is not going to change it. Okay? On everything, they need to change the laws for juvenile offenders, point blank. And they need to start holding some parents accountable for their kids' actions, point blank. Somebody said parents are not parenting. Hit them in the pockets or jail and community service for children and parents. And I agree, okay? Because that's the only time when people seem to, listen and do something about their kids. Now, check, this is this is the same one right here that they're talking about. Let's see. Let's see if we got any more. And a lot of people are saying lock those kids up. And, honestly, I definitely agree with this. I truly do. Plainly ridiculous. Let's see what somebody else is saying. Let's see. Let's see here. This is the other one right here. And I want to see that one again. Is this her? This is a different lady right here. No, wait a minute. This is the one that got, oh God, these people, there's so many of them. This is the lady who got beaten up in Chicago, I believe. I think. Let me listen to this first. Let's see if this is actually her.
Father walked them to school that morning because I wasn't feeling good at all. I was supposed to have been in the hospital.
So that's the one who got jumped a couple of days ago. Okay. If they didn't have the damn music when I would have played it. That's the first time I ever seen that video. Goodness. So these are different stories down here. But anyway, like I said, this story right here, though, the one where they jumped the two daughters and the mom in Maryland, it's just, like I said, it's just unbelievable. And it's going to get worse. You said those kids should have been scared to get on the wrong bus. My mom would have beat my ass just for that alone. Well, y'all already heard me tell y'all my mom was very strict, so y'all already know I would have got my ass beat up to the point of almost unalive. So I know I wouldn't have got on the wrong bus at all. Not saying that other parents should do that, but at least, you know, make your kids know that if they got on another bus, that they're going to be in trouble. So therefore they will be scared to even do that. Okay. Yeah, much less than attack an adult. I wish I would have attacked a grown up back in the day. Okay. Or talk back to one. So that's a crazy, this is a trip. Let's see what they're saying here.
Baby, we got a Maryland mother. Her and her daughter got beat up and dragged at a school bus stop. Yes, because the kids got on the wrong bus, so they got off at her daughter's bus stop, and they followed them, and they was taunting her and her daughter, calling them names because the mama's plus size and everything. Crazy. And the mama told her daughter, "Get in the car. Get in the car." She told her multiple times, but she was being hard-headed, as you know kids are. And all of a sudden, them kids attacked the mama and then attacked the daughter. I said, "Daughter, if you would have got in the car, your mama was trying to save you like she was supposed to." And they end up dragging both of them and beating both of them up. Now the mom is demanding action to be done, something. And I said they need to go to jail. They don't need to go to juvenile jail. They need to go to prison.
Yeah.
Let me know how you feel. We got a Maryland mother, baby.
I don't think they need to go to prison. Okay, that's a stream, but they do need to go to juvenile. Okay, juvenile detention center, because that's what they have. All right. And the parents also need to be held responsible. I just said that before. A fine. They need to also, you know, spend a couple of days in jail, because the thing is, listen, the first offense, no jail, but the fine. You know, but if their kids do this again, the parents need to also be incarcerated for a little minute. Because, I mean, damn, control your damn badass kids before somebody else control them in a way that you'll never see them again. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, they need to control their kids. Because trust me when I say, they're going to do this to the wrong parent. You'll see what's going to happen. And that's when they'll try to do something about it. You know? And then everybody be up on social media talking about, this person should have did it. They're just kids. Do you know kids unalive people? And look at this fight right here. They could have basically unalived this woman. That's plain and ridiculous. You got a whole group of kids assaulting this lady. That's crazy. I wish I could see the actual video. Let me see. Man, I can't even type that in here. Let's type in. Let's see. Let's see if we can pull up the actual video without people talking. You can see it. I think I showed this one already, but you can see it very clearly there in that little video right there. When they get outside the bus, these are not the actual bus, but let's see if they go back to that. Maybe he's showing it. I doubt it. He probably just doing a lot of talking. But you can see it right there. You can clearly see everything. That's plainly ridiculous, you guys. It truly, truly is. And so I don't blame that mom for demanding justice, okay? Yeah, they're very anxious to fight adults. They was telling adults. They were telling the one of the kids was yelling out, "Eat her up, eat her up." That's eat the mom up, something like that. Not prison. They're too young to go to prison. Okay, but jail, the juvenile detention jail thing they got going on. Because they don't have kids jail. So it's gonna have to be the juvenile detention center, okay? Get away, they're not gonna build a jail for kids. First and foremost, it'll probably be a lot of money. Okay, then you have to make sure you provide, you get schooling and all of that. They don't want to do all of that, So the other way is, like I just said, charge the parents. Okay, fine them. The first offense, second offense, they go to jail plus the fine. The first offense, community service for the kids. I don't care how young those kids are. If you're old enough to do stuff, you're old enough to do community service. Okay. So the young kids, hopefully nobody 5 years old will be doing this, but let's say 10 years old, they should have community service. Make their little badasses get out there and clean up some of those parts with their parents. All right. Clean up some of the nasty ass streets where some of these homeless people, these urinating and shit and things like that. I guarantee you, when they make these kids start cleaning up behind some of these damn homeless people in these parks living there, get that urine up, all the bottles and stuff, throw that stuff away, wiping off the seats and stuff, those benches and stuff, doing all that, cleaning out the bus stops and stuff. I guarantee you they will stop doing this shit as much. Yeah, I'm talking about the kids, right? And for the parents. You just can't throw the parents in jail like that. And you certainly can't throw no kids. And y'all just really doing a fantasizing, okay? You're not going to throw a 10-year-old in prison. Let's be more, sensible, all right? But you can give a 10-year-old community service and make them clean up outside, even if it's raining, because the rain is not going to do anything to you. Even if it's cold, they put on the appropriate stuff. And their mama and daddy need to be out there with them. Second offense, the mamas and daddies need to be incarcerated, because they need to get control of their kids and then put them little badass kids in juvenile home. Point blank. I don't give a damn if it's just for a couple weeks or something, just so they can know that this is unacceptable. You can't do that. Plus, sue the shit out of the parents. Even if they don't have anything, you can still sue them because they will confiscate stuff. It depends on what it's for. I forget how they do that. I know in a business they confiscate things to pay off, the lawsuit, but I don't know about private stuff. But maybe when someone owes something like that, they may, garnish the paychecks. I don't know how they do that, but still, lawsuits. Because when you start suing people and taking their money, they tend to, try to control their kids then as well. I don't know if all of them are in jail. Probably the daddies. Some of the daddies are probably in jail. Let's keep it real. So it was 10 students attacking this mother. And that was the mother. Let me see what she's talking about.
I was flabbergasted that children would even approach an adult, let alone assault them.
There's Lakeisha Graves. She and her daughter were attacked at their bus stop. Allegedly, the students who attacked them were not supposed to be on her daughter's bus. So when the bus stopped, those students got off the bus. Lakeisha was standing at the bus stop waiting for her.
I also think the bus driver needs to be held accountable. Because why would you even let those kids get off the bus? First of all, they shouldn't be on the bus. And then why would they be getting off there when they should have been, getting on their right bus and getting off in front of their house? How did this happen? So I think the bus driver should be, held accountable as well. Maybe, I don't know what they would do to a suspender. Okay. I don't know. The thing is, she should have stopped those kids, but she probably was scared of them damn kids too. That's why they should have security or monitors or something on the buses, as to help out. Because a lot of these kids are BAD. That's why you can pay me to be a damn bus driver, or be perfectly honest. Because some of these kids are BAD on everything. Okay, so let's finish listening to this.
Her daughters. You can see in the video where Lakeisha is telling her daughters to get in the car, and she's telling the children who are filming and walking towards her, "You all need to go home. You can go home." Lakeisha said that a 12-year-old girl charged her, and this when all of the other students began to attack her and her daughters. I'm assuming that she's referring to this little red-headed girl sitting in this photo, because when the video plays, you can see her charge towards Lakeisha.
From there, you see them dragging me across the field by my hair.
The students who attacked them were between the ages of 11 and 15. 4 of those students have been referred to juvenile service, and the other students are too young to be charged with anything. Lakeisha said that she has now removed her daughters from that school. I think we will continue to see these young children attacking families until they run across the right mom. My kids.
I was flabbergasted.
And that's what I just said. When they run across the right person, these parents are going to be on social media crying and talking about this adult did not have to unalive their child. Okay, that's why parents, as a parent, you need to raise your child fully. Okay, if you know your child is out there trying to fight, because I'm pretty sure if they did something in school, they call the parents. Okay, then you need to go pick up your children. You need to go pick up your children to stop them from doing this. She definitely should have called the police. Okay, and that her daughter should also got in the car when she told her to. Right, the bus driver was probably scared. That's why I said they should have monitors on the bus with the bus driver or security. Because these are badass kids, man. That's why I'm glad I don't have to deal with all this. Because my son goes to school online, and he did not want to go to regular school. And I homeschooled my other ones, and then when they did choose to go to school, regular school, it was not like this. It was nothing like this going on. She definitely should have called the police, but Black people in particular, they do not like to call the police. And, so it is what it is. Okay? I think I played this whole thing.
Children would even approach an adult, let alone assault.
So that's crazy. But they'll do it to the wrong person. Trust me when I say this. They will. Okay, let me go ahead and tell you about those other kids. Remember the ones who jumped the woman in Chicago? You just saw her in a video a few minutes ago. Now, a woman says the same group of kids who attacked the Chicago mom and boy also beat her son unconscious. The same group of kids. Now, how is it that these kids did not get in trouble when they beat her son unconscious? So a family that lives in the same neighborhood where the attack against Rashonda Hayter and her 9-year-old son happened was also targeted by the same band of kids. Carolyn Sanford says her 21-year-old son suffers from autism and has been the target of constant bullying and harassment for months by the children seen in the now viral video attacking the mother and her child. Okay? The assault on Brown happened over the summer near a set of Chicago housing projects in the South Deering neighborhood. Sanford says when the kids beat her son, they left him on the ground unconscious for half an hour. She said, I ain't going to lie, it's hard remembering. I couldn't get up for a little minute. My head was hurting. Okay, that's what her son said. Okay. Brown said he was leaving the store when he encountered the kids. Cell phone footage shows Brown holding a grocery bag as a group of kids surrounds him. They reportedly pulled him onto the street and began attacking him from there. This was hard because at first I didn't want to put my hands on the kid. He's a kid, like, come on, I'm grown. And I'm going to put my hand on a kid, like, I might be slow, but I got common sense, he said. One of the children involved in the incident recorded video of the assault and sent it to Sanford's mother, according to CBS News. That same child also recorded the attack against Hayter. They picked him because they knew he was scared, Sanford said. Sanford said that in a separate incident, one of the kids who attacked Brown also slapped her daughter at Orville Bright Elementary School. Like Hayter, Sanford has also complained to the school with nothing to show for it. My daughter did not want to go to school. These kids never want to stay home. That girl wants to stay home more than anybody, Sanford said. This has been going on. This ain't just started here, and it's not going to end here. The mother said the kids also broke her window and kicked in her door last year. The ringleaders, it's crazy because they stay above me. I'm damned if I don't, I'm damned if I do. I mean, it ain't no end in here. Hold on, wait a minute. I got to get the rest of this. Or at least I think that's it for that. So those kids from the Chicago incident, a couple of them got online with their parents and set up there acting like they never did this before. They said they were sorry and they were just peer pressure and just all types of excuses. And their parents sat right up there, acting like their kids don't do anything. And this is what happens. Women, this is why you have people when they get older being damn criminals, because their parents sit there when they are younger and basically just say you sorry and all this shit, and then it's cool. Instead of disciplining their kids and making sure their kids don't do this shit again. Because how is it these kids are out vandalizing and victimizing and doing the most, and the parents are not even aware that the kids are not at home? And the school system, what's up with that? Okay, if a parent is complaining to the principal or teachers about kids bullying their child or children, and they keep complaining more than once, the damn school should be doing something about it. For real. Of course, the little dude, he was laughing while he was apologizing, but he'll be the same one that be on the news talking about police brutality because he's damn black. Okay, he'll be one of those that do that. All right. So if the parents do not start raising their kids properly, you can best believe that somebody out in the streets that don't give a damn about them being kids, or the wrong police officer, they will show them how to respect authority figures and to, behave. You can either teach your kids yourself, or you can wait until someone else does it, or someone else does something else to them, and the parents or the child won't have to worry about anything ever again. Okay, point blank. This right here in that video, the mother in Chicago, this mother right here, all of these people should have never had to deal with this type of situation at all. At all. When you send your kids to school, you send them to school to learn. You send them to school to have friends, to make friends, just to be, productive kids and stuff, and to do their work, to learn, and like I said, make friends and things like that. You don't send your kids to school to be bullied, to be hit on, to be called names, and all that type of shit. In the school system, again, the teachers, everybody, they need to work together to stop this stuff right here from happening. There is no way, no way those kids should have been on another bus, okay? Because on each bus, they should make sure there are monitors on that bus to keep kids, from doing stuff they shouldn't do, and to keep kids off of buses that they shouldn't be on. Also, what happened to the monitors outside? Do they still do that? Okay. Monitors making sure that kids get on the right bus. That's crazy. So this is the dude. Let me see if I can find this video real quick to show y'all this real quick. The one with the son who has autism, and they beat him up. These kids are BAD. Sound like a group of bad kids. Let me see if I can find this one. Let's see, Carolyn. And for me, I know if this was my kids and it was been bullied in school, I would pull them out of that school. Okay, I really would. There's no way I'm getting ready to have my kids, dealing with this type of situation. And you ain't gonna be knocking, you ain't gonna be kicking on my door. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull it up without going into split things. So here it is right here.
Carolyn Sanford says the same group of kids who attacked Hatter and her son brutally attacked her adult son this past summer, leaving him unconscious on the ground for half an hour. She says they picked on him because her son has autism and is an easy target.
Ain't gonna lie, it's hard remembering it.
For 21-year-old Sean Brown, this attack left him with a fuzzy memory, PTSD.
I couldn't get up for a little minute. My head was hurting.
You can see in this video, he's running from a group of kids. The incident happened near the Trumbull Park Homes, a Chicago housing authority complex. Brown says he was leaving the grocery store when he made eye contact with a group of kids and started running when he was just steps away from his home. You can see Brown is holding a grocery bag, trying to reason with the kids. Then things escalate. We've stopped the video before the kids pulled him off of the grass and into the street.
At first, I didn't want to put my hands on the kid. He's a kid. Like, come on now. I'm a grown and I'll put my hands on a kid. Like, I might be slow, but I got common sense.
If this video looks eerily similar to what was captured earlier this week, it's not a coincidence. A group of kids attacked Corshonda Hatter and her 9-year-old son. Our analysis shows the two videos were shot by the same child.
They picked with him because they knew he was scared.
Carolyn Sanford says that boy sent the video to her, taunting her. It was all a part, she says, of her family being bullied by the group for months. In one of those incidents, a boy in the video slapped her 10-year-old daughter, Brown's younger sister, at Orville T. Bright Elementary School. The same school several parents demonstrated this past week, calling for an end to bullying.
My daughter didn't want to go to school. These kids never want to stay home. That girl wants to stay home more than anybody.
Even at home, the same group of kids broke her window and kicked in her door last May.
And the ringleaders is crazy because they stay above me. I'm do if I don't, I'm damn if I do. I mean, it ain't no winner here.
Both moms say they have brought complaints to the school with no results. Sanford says she's upset because she warned the school about the kids for months, and she says nothing was done.
Why y'all haven't done nothing a long time ago for this? Again, this been going on. This ain't just started here, and it's not going to end here.
She contacted us after seeing the viral video. We reached out to CPS. We are waiting for a response. Carolyn Sanford says the same group of kids who attacked Hatter and her son.
That's a damn shame, okay? And then you wonder why all this stuff be happening. Somebody said the school doesn't care. I don't think they care either. Somebody else said the same thing that I said, that this group of kids needs to be charged, and so does the parents. And I agree, because again, what are they waiting for? They will approach the wrong adult, okay? And then, people are going to be online crying, like I just said before. You said that principal should resign. There were complaints that were not addressed. They should have went to the superintendent of the school system. Of the school district. That's what they should have did. Okay? And complain to them. Sometimes you got to go over the principal's head, okay? But anyway, that is definitely some wacky ass news right there. And hopefully, they do something about this before it get even more serious. Okay, because like I said, when people send their kids to school, they send them to school to learn. All right, not to be bullied, not to be followed home, harassed, and assaulted, and then the parents get assaulted too. They didn't send their kids to school for that. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that entire both of those stories. It was like 3 stories. Let me know what y'all think. What do you think needs to be done to stop this from happening? And do you think the parents should be charged? And do you think 10-year-olds who engage in crimes, should they be put inside of juvenile detention centers? What are your thoughts regarding the things that I just discussed in this live regarding kids jumping grown people, the grown parents, and their children? What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section. All right. Now, let me give y'all a couple more wacky stories. Let me take this down. Hold on. And let me put my little music on in the background because it's so quiet. Okay. Let me change this banner real quick, you guys. All right. Let me just do this real quick. Let's edit this real quick. Okay. So, anyway. Hold on, let me see. Oh, my stuff. I'm going back too far. Hold on, I got something else to tell you about. Hold on, you guys. I'm looking for the daggone other story that I want to tell you guys about real quick. So check this out, you guys. Today, Thursday is what? Hold on. No, actually, I'll tell you guys this one tomorrow. I was going to tell you right now, but I'll tell you guys that one tomorrow. Let me see what else. So check this out. Y'all remember when Trump was commuting everybody? All these people. Well, one person in particular, a convicted dealer, Jonathan Braun, whose sentence was commuted by Trump. This dude returns right back to jail. Okay. And you know why? Because he assaulted his nanny. Now, I was meaning to tell you guys this last week and forgot. Okay. But this is not the first person that went back to committing crimes that Trump committed. All right. Anyway, he was sent back to federal prison after being charged with several new crimes. Now, in 2019, Braun was sentenced to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to D-related charges. He served a year before Trump commuted his sentence on the final day of his first term in January 2021. Okay, so anyway, in April of this year, Braun was locked up at a federal jail for violating the terms of his release. He has now been sentenced to 27 months in prison as well as 3.5 years of supervised release. In February, according to prosecutors, Braun actually assaulted his children's live-in nanny, breaking into her bedroom to put her in a headlock, groping her, and forcing her to touch him. Braun was also accused of violently, I don't know, I just said that crazy, swinging a hospital IV pole at a nurse while threatening to unalive her, as well as grabbing and threatening a fellow member of his church and invading bridge tolls. Additionally, prosecutors said Braun received a $100,000 fine at his 2019 sentencing, which he failed to pay. He also physically assaulted a 3-year-old child in April, which led to his detention that month. Anyway, the months he has spent in detention since April will be subtracted from his sentence. They also said he will undergo rehab treatment for his D abuse and mental illness. Now, he is the 8th person to be charged with additional crimes after receiving a pardon or having their initial crimes commuted by Trump. All right? That's crazy. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of him real quick. Jonathan Braun. Let me show y'all real quick. I'm not going to play the video. I just want to show y'all what he looks like. Oh, first I got to share this. Hold on. So let's see. What's his name? Jonathan Braun. Let's see. And this is him right here, you guys, okay? That's him right there. Shit. Yeah, that's him right there, okay? Let me show you. That's him right there, okay? As you guys can see him. Out there with Trump. This dude then shoved a 3-year-old and did the most and assaulted his allegedly, his nanny. Just crime after crime. All right? And he was commuted. Look, let's stop this right here. You can read all of that. Now, I just told you guys about it, but you can read it yourself. This dude had 220,000 pounds of weed from Canada. He was bringing it into the United States, huh? That's crazy, guys. It really is. commuted. And even now, it still shows that his connections, he has connections because shit, he's only doing how long in jail? I forgot what I said. Okay, 27 months behind bars plus time served. And then he's gonna be on probation or something, supervised release or whatever. But yet y'all want to talk about Diddy. Okay. Something is wrong with some people, man. I mean that on everything. Okay, this is some wacky shit right here. For real, for real. You said that's not Trump in that picture? What, right here? That's not Trump? Let's see. That is Trump in that daggone picture. So who is that right there? It looks like Trump. Now, if it was Photoshop or what, I don't know, but that is Trump. So who is that then? I don't know. Maybe they photoshopped the thing on it. Who knows? But we know this is this man. It doesn't matter about who is this over here. We're talking about this dude who was commuted, and he's back in prison or jail again. Okay. So that doesn't matter if that is Trump or not. Nobody cares. We just know that Trump did commute him, and this dude did something else. This is another one right here. So he looks a little bit taller, okay, right there. Somebody said he's a real stand-up citizen, okay? A Long Island DD. He abused his kids, nanny, and threatened someone at his synagogue. He is facing 27 months for breaking his pardon trust. Okay, so that's trip. The 8th person that he pardoned or commuted back in jail or prison. That's crazy. Again, that's some wacky shit right there. Okay, you guys, it really truly is. Okay, one more story, and then that's going to be it for tonight. Because we've been on here for an hour and 13 minutes. We got about 5 more minutes. Okay, let's see what else we got real quick. Well, we don't want to read this because I don't want to scare you guys. Okay, we're not going to read that foolishness. All right. Okay, let's see what else we got. That's not wacky. I already showed y'all this. I did. Let me see. Erase this. Did I tell y'all what Campbell Soup said? Did I tell you guys about, they said that they wouldn't eat, the dude said he would not eat Campbell. I think I did tell you guys about that, about the soup, the racist remarks they made. Yeah, I think I did the other day because I remember talking about it. I told y'all about Diddy. I mean, not Diddy, 52. So here's some more wacky ass stuff, okay? Hold on. Remember yesterday when I was telling you guys that the LAPD said that TMZ story about the story about Celeste Rivers' body wasn't partially frozen? Okay. I told you that they said that wasn't really true, allegedly. Okay. Now, the police is checking, they're interested in a rental freezer that was inside of, I guess, David's house or probably in his house. They're interested in this. So if her body wasn't partially frozen, why would they be interested in the freezer now? Okay. So let's see what they're saying real quick. So they are examining the freezer at the 20-year-old artist's rental home in LA, which may have been large enough to store a body. But they just said yesterday, or the other day that TMZ, the information TMZ got is not true. Anyway, according to photos published by TMZ, the rental kitchen featured a KitchenAid refrigerator and freezer combo, with the freezer measuring roughly 74 inches high, 14 inches wide, and 27 inches deep, capable of reaching temperatures as low as -8 degrees Fahrenheit. Thanks, Jermaine. Celeste was about 5'3" and she weighed about 120 pounds. She was found decapitated and with limbs removed, making it possible that the torso could have fit inside the appliance if shelves were removed. Investigators have indicated that Celeste's body was partially frozen when it was discovered in August, suggesting it had been stored at cold temperatures for some time. Now, according to sources again, David Burke, aka D4VD, may have dismembered the team in a remote area of Santa Barbara County during the spring of 2025 before returning her remains to LA. Goodness. D4VD reportedly had a freezer large enough to fit a body after it was discovered that Celeste's body was frozen. Okay? Now, a social media video from September 2024 resurfaced showing D4VD in a house with an appliance box that appeared to be a small chest freezer. While authorities have not confirmed any connection between this appliance and the case, it highlights the potential use of freezing in the timeline investigators are piecing together. Who are piecing together. So they're saying he possibly could have used a freezer. So this is definitely some wacky news because every day they're coming with something different, okay? And again, he has not been charged, okay? He's just a suspect. And a second person is also believed to have been involved in the disposal of the body. So just think if he did do it right, okay? And he took the girl up to the remote area of Santa Barbara. Something happened. I don't know what it was. Maybe she did OD. Who knows? Or something else could have happened. And then, she passed on, or either he just unalived her. Then, I don't know if he would have, cut off her arms and legs and all that out in Santa Barbara, or if he brought the body back and did it at his house. He probably did it out in Santa Barbara though, okay? And then brought the girl back to the house and put her in the freezer. Maybe, if he did do it, because we don't know for sure if he did this, okay? Or he could have, if it wasn't an OD, he could have changed into his ulterior, what do you call that? Ego, right? Is that what you call it? Alter ego. He could have changed into that, right? And then did that. Because as we read before, they claim that he liked gore stuff, gore movies and things like that. So he could have reenacted something like that, You just never know. You said So there might be an arrest soon. Who knows? Yeah, it is a grand jury right now. They're looking at everything. I think that's what they said. Let me check to see real quick. And then we are going to get out of here. Let's see. So the grand jury actually hears evidence related to Celeste Rivers' mysterious unaliving. Okay? They said a source told the outlet that the grand jury was in session earlier this month. It's unclear whether or not prosecutors finished presenting evidence. Okay, that's all I got. Okay. Now they did claim this, okay? This is allegedly. TMZ's Harvey Levin previously claimed to have heard from the LA Police Department that an arrest was nowhere, it was not soon, okay? I guess they have to get enough evidence to arrest him, I guess, you know. But they said that doesn't mean there won't be one. But there is a chance there won't be one in that sense. Okay, they said we don't even know if this was a homicide. We pushed today to find out and could not get an answer on whether the medical examiner has weighed in and whether the toxicology findings are in. It would seem to me that in LA, even though it can take several months for toxicology to come in, that given the nature of this case, we are now talking mid-November. They must have the results by now. It's crazy. It said we pushed and we cannot get an answer, that they are close to making an arrest, that they have a suspect. Okay, so again, they said that it's not something that they are going to do right now. Okay, but that doesn't mean that he can't be arrested. But as of right now, they're not looking at arresting him because they just don't have enough, evidence. Okay, so that's like I said, that's some wacky ass news because it seems like every couple of days stuff change and we just don't know what to believe. And why can't they figure out exactly what happened? And another thing too, who took the body out of the refrigerator or the freezer and put it back in the car? Because he was nowhere, he wasn't here. So the person who did that is the person that knows what happened. Okay. And then I thought they said their car was moved. So that person also probably was moving the car. But they did claim they have video. So I don't know. They probably have more information than they are telling us. That's what I'm guessing. But not enough to arrest him. Okay. It could be. They said it's not imminent, but it could, it could be, eventually. Let's put it like that. All right. So anyway, y'all, we are getting ready to get out of here. No viral videos tonight. All right. Anyway, we still had a good time. We still talked about some very important things that, that shouldn't be happening, but they did happen. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully parents, these parents will start to, be more responsible with their children. You know what I'm saying? So their children won't be going around, ganging up on adults and stuff, bullying other kids. They're just doing the most. Okay? Because right now they are doing this. What's going to happen when they choose the wrong parent to do this to? And, something worse could happen. Okay? And what's going to happen when they get older and they start doing even more things? So the time is now for these parents to step up and, be a parent, okay, and raise their children to not do things like this, point blank, okay? Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving. I'll try to come back tomorrow with another night live, but it'll be a little bit earlier. I'm trying to switch these times around. You know, with working and doing all this other stuff I have to do, it's hard switching the stuff and keeping up with these damn videos and everything else. But I'm going to try to get in here a little bit earlier to do this night out live. All right? So again, y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. And have fun. Enjoy your family. Y'all make sure y'all thumbs up this video. Hold on. Let me go ahead and do this. Subscribe to the channel. And hit the bell notifications so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. And again, if you want to show additional support for this channel, feel free to do a super sticker, super chat, a Cash App donation at $ShadesTube, or copy yourself a membership for $4.99 per month. All right? All right. And y'all, if y'all watch this video on the replay, make sure you hype it up if you see the hype up button. All right? Other than that, you guys, we are getting ready to get out of here. I mean, that's my old logo right there. Let's put this back up here. And you guys, again, have a blessed Thanksgiving. And if you watch Country Rain, make sure you come back tomorrow early afternoon before I go out for Thanksgiving. And we will do another reaction video. And I'll still be posting my YouTube shorts as well for tomorrow and the Night Owl Live. But it will only be for an hour and a half or an hour to an hour and a half. All right? Good night, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for being here. Peace out. Let's go ahead and do this. Thanks to Jermaine and who came over here? I think it's just you, Jermaine. Yeah, thank you, Jermaine, for being here. Oh, and Tony Vance, thank you so much for being here too. All right. And Young Riz, thank you so much for being here as well. Everybody in the bushes and everybody who watches this in the replays. I mean the replay. Y'all have a good night and sweet dreams. All right. Peace out. Let me cut this music off real quick first. I always forget. All right, y'all, let's get out of here. Peace.
Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Look on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I lacked game, and back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Look on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night
say what she want and laughs all day. Never shades too, press replay. You thought I left, nah.